Well, good morning. I got my pecan trees planted at the waffle swales that exit out of Lake Timmy. Guess we'll take a little dive into this and see how we're going to use it to water the trees. But we're going to start from the other side. I ended up using the excavator to dig the holes. If you know pecan trees, they're, I don't know, 3-4 foot deep holes required to plant them because of the long roots. Anyway, I used the excavator and ended up being pretty big holes. In fact, let me pop in a picture. The reason I wanted to tell you that is, you know, when you plant a tree, you dig a hole, you know, you put the tree in it, put the dirt in it, maybe half fill it with dirt, fill it with water, then fill it up the rest of the way with dirt, then fill it with water. But one of the critical things after that is to use your foot and just push down around that tree to push out the air pockets. And because of the size of the hole on this first tree right here, we'd even mulched it and everything. And I went in to step on it to push the air pockets out. And had I not stopped myself, I would have went down all the way to my knees. I think I was down to about my ankle when I was able to reverse out. Anyway, I would have kept on going. So the bigger the hole, the more air pockets you're going to have, so the more pushing you got to do. Anyway, let's take a step back and let's try to figure out how this system's going to work, and may have a live debate on it in my mind as we walk through it. So anyway, I call these waffled swales. Water's going to come out of Lake Timmy, or right now it's kind of a slope down from Lake Timmy. So right now all the roof catchment area, which is this area here, I came out in the last rain and it was actually coming down, and instead of going into Lake Timmy, it was pushing out. And I'm gonna leave it like that because that allows these things to fill up regardless of the level of Lake Timmy over there. So if I'm not mistaken, 1 inch of rain filled up all of these waffles. So I decided, like, let's use this to irrigate pecan trees, and we're gonna have to test it and find out. But every one of the dams is where I planted a tree basically, and I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to find out. We're gonna have to let this fill up and then start digging around in the peach tree and see if, or pecan tree, and see if the moisture's making it there. I mean, if not, you know, maybe for the first year I water them individually to let the roots get down deeper, and maybe second year, you know, this is definitely gonna create moisture lower down. Anyway, we'll just have to see. I could also, you know, I could cut a little trench straight to it, so that you know, with the right height and everything, and may have to do it while it's wet and water in it, but at the same height that it's crossing through this little cut, it would also cut over here and fill it, or maybe just a slight variance. Anyway, so there's things I can do. Also thought about, could dig a loop trench all the way around, connecting two of these, so it just water comes in from both sides and do it. But anyway, it's just something I got to keep an eye on. As far as a waffle swale, when I made it, I just did it the width of the skid steer, so it's probably 6 feet wide here. You know, it's probably probably wider than it's needed. I mean, you can do this without such a wide one. I mean, heck, if it's 1 foot wide and you got a channel cutting through there, like just taking a plow and running it through there, you could do the same thing with it. But I'll probably end up reshaping it. I mean, I've got one thing I don't like is I've got the cliff walls on each side, because I just went this way. When you take it and you work this way, you know, then you're controlling slope on both sides, a gradual slope. So, you know, I may come back and rework it, you know, just slope it on each side, or fill it with wood chips, which I think some people have recommended just fill this with wood chips. And when I was done with the trees and mulching them, I put the rest of the wood chips in here. But yeah, the wood chips are not a bad idea, and I think it's my hippie friend in Chicago may be the one that keeps pushing me to put the wood chips in here. Anyway, if I put the wood chips up level, it's still going to have water in it, maybe half the capacity. It'll fill up all the voids. But in the spring, when we're getting to where, you know, we may have standing water in here for 6 or 8 weeks, then we're going to get mosquito breeding. So a pile of wood chips allows you to store the water, but you don't see the water, so then the mosquitoes can't lay their eggs in it. So that's an option too. And I'm just giving some ideas if somebody else does something like this. You know, you can make it narrower, you can make it wider, you can make it deeper. But one of my rules is to be able to mow. And right now, you know, as you can see the edge there, I'd never be able to get a mower over there. So wood chips would solve the problem, or sloping it would solve the problem. And to do this whole project, I had to, let's see this one here. This one had wind damage, a bunch of branches that was actually covering where this tree went. And you can see, I just used the excavator to break the branches off, and we pushed it out over here. So we're gonna have some happy bunny rabbits that can run away from the foxes. You know, you do this kind of work with skid steers or excavators, you end up with a lot of bare dirt and you tear up the ground. So we should be getting rain tomorrow. So as soon as we got what I call moist ground, I'm going to come put my deer plot food mix out over here. Just spread it out on wet ground. I like doing it on wet ground because I think the seed just sticks to the ground and then immediately sprouts, like within 2 or 3 days. If I do it on dry ground without having to mulch down, when it's bare dirt like this, you know, you get a rain, it's all going to wash down to the low spots. You're going to have these big clumps of grass and these big areas with no grass. Anyway, I'm kind of excited about this whole project. We'll you know, the ultimate test is next year if they're still alive. And then I wanted to show you one last thing. If you look at my channel, my YouTube channel, the little picture thing on it, it's actually this tree. This is a dead oak tree, and then the Mustang grapes took over. And it's beautiful in the springtime when all the Mustang grape leaves bloom. It looks like some tree from another planet because it's great. It's a grape-leafed tree, which is pretty cool. But it creates a room because all the branches come down to the edge. And think about it all full of leaves. It creates this room where the deer will come in here and hide. I mean, I've had other ones on the property where I walk by in the middle of the day and then a deer runs out because I spooked them. But it's a good hiding place for the deer. And I've got another one right here that's about ready to collapse. This one here. I've got a lot of dead oak trees. You know, in 2021, you know, we had that, you know, solid freeze for 2 weeks straight, night and day for 2 weeks, and I think that did a toll on some of these oak trees. Anyway, this is an example of it. Anyway, Mustang grapes took over. It created the room, but now we're at the point where you can see they're crashing. But that still, I mean, that still makes little rooms where deer can hide. So I don't think I'm going to come knock it down or anything. I mean, I guess at some point I'm going to have to protect this pecan tree I just planted. But anyway, it's almost February. We're past, I waited till we're past the freezes. We had overnight freezes as low as 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and I waited till after that to plant this. And the trees came from Womack Nursery in De Leon, Texas, kind of near Comanche in Stephenville, Texas. But I may be wrong because I'm going to give you pre-COVID prices, but I mean, this tree, I mean, it's probably 7 feet tall. And if you find a 6-foot pecan tree in a nursery, and this is pre-COVID, so, you know, we've had inflation since then, it was $125 a tree. And these were, I want to say $45 a tree. They're bare root. You can only get them this time of the year. They can't ship the tall ones, so you got to go pick them up. But $45 compared to $125, you know, when you're buying, I think I bought 7 trees, that's a sizable difference. It was worth the, I think I'm an hour and 50 minutes from their place. It was worth the drive, in my opinion. Anyway, you can see I bermed around it, put the mulch in it. And like I said, we'll answer some questions as it gets hot in the summer, but I'm excited about this. And I think I'll end it from there. Y'all have a great day.